So, if you're familiar with The Room, the Tommy Wiseau film from 2003, well, in the book The Disaster Artist, and also in the movie, they kind of briefly mention how there was a scene where Tommy Wiseau was considering having his character Johnny be a vampire.
Yes.
With a flying car. It's kind of glossed over, but we thought because it is the season of the witch and with all the ghouls and goblins about, maybe we need to explore the vampiric version of The Room. Oh, hi everyone. Welcome to Scream to Scream. Oh, first of all, if you haven't seen The Room, I'm not even going to say spoiler alert. You should just see this movie.
Yeah, you should make sure you go see it like as soon as possible.
Yes.
Grab yourself some spoons.
See it with some friends too, because when I first saw The Room, I wasn't into it, and I feel like an idiot because why wasn't I into The Room? It's amazing. So yeah, see it with some friends. They will help you enjoy it, and it will be one of your favoriteest movies.
Oh yes.
It is from. I've seen that movie more times than I've seen good movies.
Oh God, it's true. We've seen that movie dozens of times.
Because I keep trying to find people who haven't seen it yet. So if there's someone who hasn't seen it, I have to see it with them.
It's true. It's very true.
But yeah. So anyway, there's a scene in the movie where he and man, it's so hard to explain this movie. You haven't seen it, but his friend slash like foster son, but almost like his Robin to his Batman.
A little bit.
I guess. Denny is buying drugs from Chris R, a ruffian, on top of a building, and there's a moment. I think that Tommy Wiseau had this idea that he would drive off that building in a flying car because he is a vampire,
and he has that power. So.
Johnny, his character, Johnny being a vampire would probably explain a bit.
It would answer some questions about where he gets his money from.
Yeah. I mean, it also answers some questions about Tommy Wiseau, but
yeah, I was kind of leading into the, like where he gets his money. Oh, I don't mean Johnny. I mean Tommy Wiseau.
I think for the purposes of this idea, we can conflate them a bit.
Yes.
So Johnny's a vampire. Maybe he's sort of, maybe Lisa is, would you sort of that Bram Stoker's Gary Oldman, Lisa's sort of like that reincarnation of his past love from ancient times or whatever, from, I don't know, like, what's a vampire time? Like during like the,
what's a vampire? Anytime's a vampire.
Well, I mean like the Middle Ages as an origin story, and then he kind of goes through and becomes like, you know, or do we want to do it like more set in traditional vampire times, and like the 1800s begins the story? That's when he gains immortality, or.
I guess it depends. Are we trying to tell a story? Like, are we trying to redo the Room, but the vampire version? Or are we trying to tell a story that links into the Room?
I'm sort of thinking what if, and this is just like my first idea, what if The Room is The Room? It's exactly as we see it, but what you don't see is that he's a vampire. But then there's also like the fact that he has a flying car and is a vampire. You know, we're trying to figure out Tommy Wiseau's original vision before the studios...
before, quote-unquote, the studios.
Before everyone kind of wrote that out. So... you know, he kind of has this vampiric quality to him. He's kind of a pale guy who's a bit odd. Does he want to eat Lisa, or is this sort of like this fight in his, you know, he loves Lisa, but he also wants to eat her? Is Denny Renfield?
Is Denny Renfield?
Maybe he's a Renfield. That would make a lot more sense.
It would explain a lot.
Oh my God, I think he is. He's hypnotized. That's why he's so weird.
He's a thrall. He's a thrall to Johnny.
So, because like Denny, again, if you haven't seen the movie, Denny's like like in his like late 20s, and he seems like he's 15 years old.
Yeah, like he's a man-child.
Yeah, it's very odd. So if he were like under the spell of a vampire, that would be something.
It would really clear a few things up.
Now, just kind of jumping around here, I know silver bullets kill werewolves.
Yes.
Does that also work on vampires at all? Like, has there never been any sort of...
I don't remember vampires having much of a silver allergy.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think of, like, you know, when he offs himself at the end, there might be something.
I mean,
there might be something to that.
That might have just been him pretending, you know.
Oh, sir.
A little bit of a
because they don't know. But you know, maybe his love for Lisa is so real that after all these years of eternal life, he decides that this isn't worth it. I don't know. I don't know where.
And he loaded like a garlic bullet.
Like a garlic bullet, or like one of those sunlight bullets. Wasn't that? It was like Underworld. They had like UV bullets.
I think it was either Underworld or it was one of the Blade movies.
Yeah, you know, I think the best way to start this off is look at all the vampire parallels. There's a lot of them. Yeah. Like this, like weirdly, like candlelit bedroom. Like he's got the bedroom of a vampire.
The only problem is he goes out in the daylight.
You know, that's the thing, though. Like Dracula could go out in the daylight, and he's like the OG vampire.
That's true. That's true.
It depends on what lore you're going with. And he also wears sunglasses, though. Or is that just Tommy Wiseau? I'm trying to remember now.
I think it's Tommy Wiseau.
Okay. Well, we could work that in. Like, I kind of like that, like, oh, I'm a vampire, I need sunglasses kind of thing. Yeah. It kind of rides the line a bit. But I think it's sort of like you just can't use your powers in the daytime. I think that was, like, sort of the Dracula thing. And then Lisa, like, what's her story? Like, does she know he's a vampire? She acts so odd. Lisa is such a strange character because people don't usually like revenge cheat on people unless there's a
reason.
Yeah, like she just seems to be a bad person for no reason. It's a very odd character.
I got the impression she was more of a bad character than anything else.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if we're going to try to make this work here, can we tie that into the vampire stuff in any way? You know, is she like a vampire hunter? And she's going, oh, wait, what if, wait, I know we've done this sort of when we did the Count Chocula thing, but what if, like, her family is vampire hunters?
Okay.
And they've been trying to kill this guy for centuries, and they cannot do it using conventional weapons.
And they eventually realize it has to be a broken heart.
It has to be a broken heart. They have to kill him that way. That's the only way to kill this vampire.
Like, they've tried staking before, and it's like, it's not working. But the book says you have to break his heart. Oh my god. It's not a stake.
That's what it is. Like the wording is something. It's like the heart must be like pierced, like and that's what it got conflated, like all of these old texts and all what we know about vampires. It was all from this like ancient book, and we've been interpreting it wrong because like the translation was like, you know, it was hard to understand. So that's it. She has to destroy his heart.
Destroy heart of the vampire.
Yeah, destroy the heart of the vampire, and that's it. He needs to have his heart broken, and then he kills himself.
It all makes sense now.
That's pretty good. What about Mark? What's his whole deal?
I think Mark might just be like a dumb idiot.
Just some dumb idiot.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense.
I mean, like, we could make him into something special, but I feel like he's just a tool being used by Lisa.
Yeah, well, he's kind of... Yeah, I guess so. So, is he, So, I guess he's, like, kind of a good vampire, I guess? Like, lack of a better word? Like, he's not...
He's not actively trying to do evil. I think he's just a vampire that's, you know, just looking for love.
He works at a bank. Perhaps it's the blood bank?
They didn't specify in the movie.
I don't think they ever see the bank in the movie.
Oh, hell no. They only had like 4 sets.
So he works at a blood bank, let's say, and that's where he gets, like, he steals some work, but he's not hurting anyone.
He's a very kind, considerate vampire who's just trying to get by.
That's very good. That's very good. All the pieces are coming together.
It all makes sense now.
That explains why he doesn't know how to play football. Like it's like, these are human games.
I like to play some human games. Are we telling a movie that takes place at the same time as The Room, or is this going to be before The Room? Is it an origin story?
I feel like it's a little bit of both, and also more than that. I think it might be like we might get like a little prologue. Perhaps we get some of that in there, so seeing his origin story, or maybe is it revealed to us? Does Mark find out? Does he find like Lisa's book or something?
So, if we're gonna have The Room happen the way The Room happened,
right,
then maybe a fun way to do it would be this movie picks up literally right after the end of The Room. Johnny has shot himself. He's on the ground. Like, Lisa's crying, and Mark is like, "Get out of here! You did this!"
Denny,
Denny screaming, "Get out of here! You did this!"
Yeah.
Although I think Mark also was there screaming that it's her fault.
Yeah, he's saying that, but Denny's the one who's like, leave me with him.
Yeah, just leave me with him. Yeah. Leave me with my master. Yeah. Like Lisa could walk out of the room while that's happening and like smile at the camera, and then you get a rewind effect.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's like the prologue is sort of you've seen the room. Now here's what you didn't see.
Yeah, like here's the truth. Like Lisa just looks right at the camera. Mission accomplished, father.
Oh, all right. What about this? What about I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go with it. And she like all right. So the room ends like that's the intro. Like, and she leaves the room, and she like turns to the camera, and she's like, fun story, but that's not how it really happened. and then she kind of like, and now it's the room again, and we could actually like recast this whole thing, you know, because like, you know, if we actually made this, we'd have to. And Lisa would just be like, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's not what really happened. Here, let me show you. And then like, so the room was a vampire's recount of what happened, but she's gonna tell us like what really happened. Like she wasn't just mean for no reason. She had to hunt this vampire.
Like she could meet up with Claudette, her mom, who has tried in the past to kill.
Yeah, right.
And we even have a flashback to that time period.
Oh, yeah.
Whip back to the 1960s when she was trying to kill Johnny.
Yeah.
But that's before they realized it has to be a broken heart.
Right.
Like, let me tell you how my family has, through the generations, tried to kill the vampire known as Johnny.
Johnny? Yeah, wait, does he have a last name?
Johnny Vlad. But like a fun thing for this movie is all the different scenes in this movie we only follow Johnny. Like it's always
well,
except for a couple of moments when we don't.
Yeah.
And like those scenes are important because we need to see him being betrayed.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of scenes where Johnny leaves for like 100 years. And she's just in the same spot. Lisa is like just sitting in the same part of the couch she was hours ago. Like we could see what she did, like her making plans, machinations, like plotting the downfall of this vampire. Maybe she's having some second thoughts because like she's heard all these tales, but like he's never done anything to hurt her.
Yeah, maybe she has fallen in love with him, and that's the ultimate tragedy. She has to pretend that she's this cruel woman, but in the end, it was sort of like, I had to do. It was my destiny. It's my destiny. And it was like the only someone who truly loved him could have killed him. You know, it's that sad duty there.
She chooses to believe that she was freeing his soul. Like he was trapped here. Now he's in a better place.
Yeah,
which is not true. Obviously, being an immortal vampire who's super wealthy and can do whatever he wants is super bitchin'.
It sort of gives that last line of his, "God forgive me." It gives it more gravitas.
Yeah,
because you know, like he's been a vampire for centuries.
And maybe he was a bad vampire for part of that.
Yeah,
like that's why this familial hunt is on.
Yeah, Lisa turned him into a good vampire. He got a job at a blood bank, you know.
Meeting her turned his life around.
Yeah.
But like maybe the Lisa line is hunting this man because of something that happened.
Right.
Like generations and generations and generations ago.
Yeah.
Like they're I don't know, their super progenitor for their family line was killed by the Wiseau vampire.
Like his accent is of a time, like it's of a culture that doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
It's
from Lemuria.
Yeah.
Before that continent sunk beneath the waves.
That's pretty good.
My family, we ruled Lemuria until that vampire destroyed our continent. I don't know. This is hard.
It's hard to do this. It's hard to think like Tommy Wiseau.
It's also hard to like take a movie that's as directionless and meandering as The Room.
That's the problem. Because when we try to like make a movie work, the more we try to make this work, the less like The Room is going to be.
Yeah, because The Room is just like a thing that happened. Like there's no real plot to The Room.
Like how is The Room like a vampire? Well, that's all set building. That's you know, it's world building. There's got to be more to it than that. Claudette as a vampire hunter in the past. That's an interesting way we can go. We can go that way. We have the what really happened angle. I mean, what if we could kind of do like a bit of like a 4 rooms situation?
I was leaning in that direction.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest maybe this is a movie that is told backwards.
Backwards, huh?
So
okay.
we pick up... I'm going back to... This movie opens with him dying.
Right,
Lisa walks out of the room. She meets up with Claudette. Like, I did it.
Yeah,
Finally, I familial mission completed.
Yeah.
And Claudette reminisces about when she tried.
Okay.
And we get, like, her story. And from there we go even further back, and we just hopscotch our way back in time until we get to that inciting incident that like started this blood feud between one vampire and a whole line of angry women.
I'm kind of with you. I'm just trying to think of it structurally. If we're gonna get the narrative flow to go correctly, I feel like we kind of want to intersperse Claudette and like the old times, like sort of back and forth. Maybe it's sort of like Interview with a Vampire, sort of like Johnny's old life, him becoming a vampire, but like B plot or A plot is Claudette, and it's like the 50s, I guess. Like we start off in 2003, we kill Johnny off, we finally done it, mission complete. Then we sort of like cut back to either Johnny or Claudette. Like I say, Claudette's probably like when is her like Buffy the Vampire Slayer days? I feel like, I don't know, at her age, like probably the 50s, maybe
50s, 40s,
maybe 40s would be fun. 50s would be fun too. But
I guess how old is Claudette? I don't know how old she is.
I don't know how old she is, and also it was like over 10 years ago too, so it's like there's a few things to sort of keep track of. But I don't know, we could stretch that. I mean, if we want to do like a fun like noir sort of thing, or like a fun like, I don't know, I could see like the 50s being fun too. But we could put a whole bunch of that, like Tommy Wiseau, you know, we do like a period piece, and then in that intercut. All right. Maybe this is the story. It's like we've just seen the room. Johnny's dead, and that was the plan from the beginning. That was Claudette's plan. That was, you know, Elisa's plan. Then we go back and we see like Claudette's story and what this revenge means to her and how justified she is. But at the same time, like the B plot is Johnny's, like he's a nice guy who becomes a vampire. Like, his arc is like, he's an innocent guy who gets vampired at. He becomes like a real bad guy, and he meets up with Claudette in like the 50s or 40s, whatever. And there's like, you know, he's like destroys her life, whatever. And then Claudette swears that she'll get revenge on him with her daughter. And now she's an old lady, so Johnny doesn't recognize her. And now, you know, now Johnny's found love for real, and he doesn't want to be a bad vampire. He's like, he's fighting his vampirism for the first time. He feels like himself again, and in the end, he gets killed off because it's sort of like, can you undo your mistakes? Like, if you've been bad for that long, even if you truly believe in yourself, is it too late? I mean, that could be kind of the story there, where we see Claudette completely justified. We were following her story. Everything he's done to her has been terrible. And then we also see his story, like he never chose this life. It's sort of, he became a monster. Or actually, at some point, he probably does have to make a choice, because he sort of needs to, on some level, deserve the death, I feel like. I don't know, I sort of like that very tragic, like, everyone's right and everyone's sad sort of thing.
So maybe instead of Lisa having that, like, I did it, I completed my mission,
right.
maybe it's more of a, like, screaming and yelling at her mother, like, why did I have to do this?
Right, yeah.
Like, my whole life you told me this is what I had to do, but I loved him.
Yeah, why did I have to do this?
And then it's like, we don't go back in time all the way to the origins, we we tell a split story between Claudette's point of view of it, and Johnny's like, this is what happened to me.
Yeah. Maybe like Denny maybe we keep cutting back to like the present day, and Denny finds like Johnny's diary, and he's like, September 1st, 1781. Like,
well, maybe like we start with so everything we just talked about Claudette is explaining like her point of view to Lisa, like this is why you had to do it, and like right around when things are looking like, wow, Johnny was a real monster.
Yeah.
That's when fucking Denny kicks in the door.
Yeah.
He's been pretending to be a simpleton this whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
He's actually a very competent assistant.
Well, maybe his brain starts like the spell starts to wear off.
I was gonna go with he's been a willing thrall. Like, he's been playing the patsy, and now he's going to like give us the Johnny point of view. Like you monsters, you don't understand what he's been through.
Well,
and maybe Denny's been with him the whole time.
Well,
like, just working in the shadows.
Well, the thing that again, I'm just trying to think of structure. It kind of like creates that awkward story structure because now Claudette hasn't finished her story, and now Denny's interrupting it, and now they're taking turns talking about their stuff.
I was thinking it was going to be Denny gets a good chunk, so we kind of get a different point of view of that. So we see like Johnny's actually a tragic figure. He's not actually a huge douchebag like Claudette's been painting him. And then when they kind of like meet up, at that point we could tell like the final leg of the story with both points of view.
What? Yeah, I to add to that. Yeah. I think what if he's confiding in Mark? So Claudette and Lisa are having their sort of recap of their like 1940s noir vampire story, and then Denny confides in Mark. He's like, Mark, I'm not actually a simpleton. And like, there's something you should know about Johnny, because like Mark's upset too. It's like they were friends, so it's like something you should know about Johnny, and then like we're getting like modern day cut with you know, the olden times, and then like the 40s noir kind of thing. That's pretty fun. And then at the end they all come together, confront each other, and there's like an argument in modern day, and there's like a fight in the 40s, and then there's like the struggle, like Johnny becoming a vampire, like all of like the story threads come together in this like final fight.
So like the Room is this super meandering nonsense movie that's extremely linear. It's just like point A to point B. Here's the story of a man who shoots himself over a broken heart. And now the sequel is, here's that same story, but holy shit, is it meandering in a whole different way. We're gonna be jumping between like 6 different time periods.
It's the only way to do this.
It's gonna reveal super secret backstories for all of the characters. I like that a lot. It's going to be a terrible movie in a completely different way.
I like that. That's fun.
Why is Johnny best friends with Mark? Like, why are they best friends?
Why are they best friends?
Is it maybe because Mark is also a vampire?
Is
he secretly a vampire?
See, that could be a fun twist, except for the third movie in the Room trilogy.
Yeah, like it turns out this has all actually been Mark's doing, because he wanted the same he wanted the vampire, the turf.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a vampire turf war.
He's older than Johnny.
Yeah, maybe he's the one that turned Johnny.
Ooh.
But like over time they kind of became friends, but Mark started resenting this like lack of power. It's like, you're supposed to be working for me. We're not supposed to be compatriots. I'm gonna steal your woman. But really she was a vampire hunter the whole time? Is that too convoluted?
It might be too convoluted, but also like if Tommy Wiseau's directing it, it might be one of those things like, oh, just don't think about it, you know? Like I don't know. That's it's hard to like. My instinct is to write a movie that makes sense, but that's not necessarily what The Room is. So.
Oh hell no!
I don't know. I just kind of like the movie where everyone does what they wanted and everyone ends up sad at the end.
Yes.
And it's sort of I sort of like it. So it takes The Room, which is supposed to be very sad, and then it makes it sadder if we can do that. Like really melodramatic. I mean, if that's what we're trying to stick to. Yeah, we're trying to get more drama in there.
Well, yeah, I guess we should stick, because The Room was just a super melodrama.
Yeah, and if we try to we have like the melodrama spanned centuries now.
Yes.
Like that could be kind of a fun thing where.
And in the end, it's just as annoyingly melodramatic and sad, because it's still just people doing shit that they should know better.
Yeah. Is there like a bunch of vampires in the past? Like we could like I mean in the 40s, is there like, does he have like hordes of vampires and Claudette is just like stabbing them all and stuff? Like, because we can get some good action scenes in there. Because like we can also go way back in the past and we can have, you know, like I don't know if we want to go like medieval or do we want to go like the 1800s? Like I don't know what time period you want to fall in.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe. Because that accent's very weird, and the further back we go, like the more it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or what happens to his body? Does it like turn to dust? Like,
I mean, it really depends. If you want it to be like Johnny's dead, no options, he can't come back, then maybe it turns to dust. If we want to like keep ourselves open for the possibility that Johnny's not dead, like maybe they have they're standing in front of his grave. That way we can have one of those fun hands shoots out of the dirt when they walk away,
and then he's like, sort of like halfway between an evil laugh and his.
Oh, Lisa, you're so silly. I'm not dead. I forgive you.
Anything for my princess. Credits. that's how it ends.
I'm thirsty for princess.
Oh man, that's he calls her. He says he calls her princess like once or twice, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe that's like a thing where like
maybe he was engaged to a princess when he was turned, and it's always been about capturing that lost love.
Yeah.
She looks just like her.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of like tropes we could play around with here.
Maybe that's the origin of the familial grudge. He's in love with the princess, but because the king finds out he's a vampire, he's like, "You've been tainted. God will never see you in his kingdom like this."
Or maybe he's like,
burn her.
He like sentences him to be a vampire. Like there's some sort of like I don't know. Like I feel like it's a curse that was put on him unjustly. Like I don't know. I like because if we're doing that kind of stuff, it's like medieval, like old magic times.
Yeah. The old blood.
Do we call this like the room origins or
a room in your room? A room with a view.
I feel like we should allude to vampires in the title though. That way people know it's a vampire movie.
A room : Blood Vow.
Blood Vow. Oh, that's good. I like that. The room : Blood Vow. I like that. That's good. The theme of the first movie, as Tommy himself has said, is that if everyone loved each other, the world would be a better place. And I think this second movie says that louder and clearer than the first one.
It does.
Because it's like if anyone had just chosen love instead of hate or revenge, everyone would have been happier. And I feel like that's really like the moral of the room and of the room : Blood Vow. I guess the act 2 is really what we don't have. It's like, what is the struggle? Like, what is Claudette's story? What did Johnny do to her? What is Johnny's story? Why was he like punished with vampirism? Did he have to take it on to save someone? Like I don't know. There's like a lot of things you could play around with there, but everyone makes sacrifices and everyone loses in the end. Like I feel like that's the tone we want to hit.
I'm gonna put this out there. So, going way back, medieval times, we have a princess, we have Johnny. Johnny's her sworn knight.
Okay.
And they fall in love. It's forbidden love. Because obviously she's a princess, she's going to be used as a political marriage. That's what princesses were for in medieval times. Or at the very least in fiction for medieval times.
Yeah.
And they are making a vow. She's been studying dark magics with one of her handmaids. And like, hey, we're going to make this dark vow together. We'll be together forever.
Okay.
But the king bursts in the room in the middle of the whole ceremony, their ritual. And, the thing goes wrong. Johnny's cursed with vampirism. She is not. She doesn't live forever, but he is. But the process drives him like crazy. He kills her. He kills the king.
Ooh.
He has to flee the kingdom, and now he's cursed forever. And he's wandering around knowing that he killed the person he loves.
See, I was actually thinking just to basically get the same result, but maybe a little different. Is that he. Like the experiment goes wrong when they're interrupted. She dies in that process. He doesn't kill her, but he feels responsible for her death.
That's probably better.
Yeah.
Rather than having him be like actually fleeing in violent past.
I feel like we want him to be as sympathetic as possible.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, thanks for joining us on this very strange episode of Screen to Screen, or Scream to Scream.
Scream to Scream.
If you've got a better way to do The Room as a vampire movie, you let us know in the comments. And of course, if you have any other ideas for Screen to Screen, also let us know in the comments, and we'll check it out and probably do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. do that?
You give us that good sign off, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.